What's up, guys? Jeff from Texas Moto Works, and I wanted to talk to you about the Harley Softail that, if you've been following along, you've seen me working on for about a year. We're actually right about a year now. I actually inherited the bike from my father-in-law, and it was, if you think in your mind what a 1991 Softail stock looked like in 1991, that's what came to me, which I'm not a fan of that look. I mean, they have the big seat and the buckhorn bars, and not really the greatest paint scheme, what have you. But one thing that was running me ragged was trying to get the S&S carburetor jetted correctly. Now, full disclosure, and not a slight to S&S, because I hear a lot of guys talk about how great they are, but I'm not one of those guys. And that's not necessarily, that doesn't mean that the S&S is a bad carburetor. It could just be that there's a problem with mine, being that it's old. The father-in-law, dearly departed, probably put that on in like 1991, 1992. So, and I did a rebuild kit on it, and I just don't know those carbs really well. So it could be something that I was doing wrong. But what kind of makes me think that it wasn't is that I put so many Harley guys right now are gonna just want to cut my throat. I put a McCuney, not only was it a McCuney on a Harley, it was a McCuney copy. And there's a reason. You guys that know me know I'm not a cheap ass, but I've been thinking about doing an Ultima motor in that bike, 140 badass Ultima motor, and that's the plan. But I knew that's, several months out, maybe 6 months out. So I wanted to get this thing running right in the time being, and I didn't want to spend a ton of money on it. And you can get a good McCuney setup, just the carb. I think they're in like the $300 neighborhood, something like that. But then you need the cool little, the intake, and we'll get to that because that's a whole nother thing. The filter. But basically, I got the McCuney copy, the flange to spigot, so it's an S&S flange from the 2 cylinders, and then to the spigot, because the McCuney is a spigot, it's a rubber adapter basically, and then the intake, I keep saying the intake, I'm sorry, the filter. I got everything for the filter. Wasn't cheap, it was almost $100. The carb was 80, but I bitched at them on eBay because they send it with jets that have no numbers on them. So, and I didn't really bitch at them. I just said, hey, do you realize that these jets that you send with these don't have numbers on them? How do I figure out what the heck is going on here? Oh, we're sorry. Do you want $30 back? I'm like, oh, okay. And they take regular jets. They take McCuney jets. So that's the solution. Anyway, so $100 for the filter, the adapter, carb itself. I'm into it less than $200. Yeah, less than $200 with everything. And boy, did it wake the bike up. I was able to use my existing throttle cable. I had to modify it a little bit because the McCuney copies are made to fit the stock Harley CV throttle cable, and mine was not a stock CV throttle cable that I was actually using with the S&S. It was a little bit different. I had to modify it a little bit, shave off the end of it a little bit of the sheath to get it to, it works fine. And then what's cool about it is when I put the air filter on, the air filter is designed to use the stock Harley original air filter cover, which I actually like. The S&S, I had the teardrop with it. But once I had that on there, I was thinking, man, that's a lot of weight. Because think about it, it's all flexing on the rubber spigot adapter. Well, I didn't realize it because it had these nice black plastic plugs over it, but the intake comes with these 2 studs, and they probably make a bracket that does what I make. They probably make something similar to what I made, but I actually made brackets out of aluminum that go from those studs on the back of the air filter to the studs on both cylinder. So it's super solid now, but it made such a difference in how the bike rides. I'm actually at the point where I'm thinking, like, I don't know, maybe I don't want an Ultima motor. So I'm just gonna ride it until I get tired of it. But it's neat how it works. I also had to buy the choke. The copy carbs don't come with the choke mechanism, and it was cheap. It was like 15, 20 bucks, and it works. And what's really neat about it is it mounts to where the stock choke lever was. The S&S has that tang above the carb that you pull up. In McCuney, it's like the Harley choke, to where it's a little pull button, a pull tab right by the, it's not right, pull tab. It's like a 70s beer pull tab. It's a pull knob next to where the horn is on the left side. It's pretty cool. The bike starts right up, doesn't do any of the stuff it was doing before, the surging and the bucking, and it would do this weird like little miss every once in a while. It just runs awesome. So yeah, if you're thinking about swapping your bike over to the McCuney and you have an S&S and you're having problems with it, way to go. I also changed pipes to these Ultima pipes, which are just gorgeous. Ultima makes some nice stuff. I think they're a Chinese-based company, and I've dealt with lots of Chinese-based company, but their product is really nice. The pipes have heat shields. They're really sharp. Really, really happy with them. I was thinking about the Ultima motor for the bike, but I found out that they have a pretty short warranty. I think it's like 90 days. The RevTech has like a 1-year warranty, I think. So I might just cough up the extra money and go with the RevTech. So anyway, we'll go out in the shop and kind of walk around the bike and do some B-roll, as they call it, and we'll go from there. All right.